Hello and welcome to this brand new episode of Newsmakers. This is the show where we bring to you spectacular personalities and their success stories from various walks of life. Because at Newsmakers, we aspire to inspire you. My dear audience, you know that I'm your host Simran and you've been watching me all through. Now here today it's a very important session that we are going to have with one of the renowned nutritionists. Yes, my dear friends, health is very important and this is the time that we become aware of our gut health. Specifically, we have a person who's going to be telling us about how important it is to have a good health, to have a good body. Please allow me to welcome very renowned nutritionist Sheetal Bansal on the sets of Newsmakers. A very warm welcome to you. You're also the founder of Nutro Mantra and it's such a great honor to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, Simran, for calling me, and it's my pleasure to be here and to have a talk with you.
Thank you so much. I would like to start this is my all-time questions with whoever comes here because I really want everyone to be inspired. Now that you here, you must have had your journey all through. You are a mother, you're a wife, and you're also a nutritionist. Now coming to this level in life, you must have seen many ups and downs. Please tell us about your journey.
Yeah, being a psychology background, so
Okay.
it just made me a very convincingly to dwell into the nutrition side, because in psychology what I have said that mind and body is related to each other.
True
So
that.
there is a connection between mind and body. What you feel, you have physical symptoms there. So I was in 11th, it was just like first time when I came through about the psychology. So gradually when I go deeper into the psychology, it was like that something is there inside which we need to cater
Correct.
to, just to show are the physical symptoms and the in front at a good side.
Okay.
So gradually when COVID came, then I decided to have it was like I can never sit
Idle.
idle at home. So after marriage I pursue for the nutritionist,
Okay.
and I did 1 year for regular course in nutrition.
Okay.
Then when COVID came, it was like everyone sitting at home and nothing was there. So then I was just watching something, and it was like some international university, New York University, was giving courses in gut health, and then I took upon that it is very important to build up your immunity, and everyone in COVID was facing issues with their immunity.
Correct.
And gut is your core for everything.
Yes,
And from there it was like it is the future of masses for everyone, for every age group. So there I just developed my course, my studies, and my experience in gut health.
Wow, so COVID really helped you to grow
Exactly.
as a person, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You grew as a woman also. You studied so much, and now that we're here and you've also been healing a lot of people. What a great story. Now here I know that you are a founder of Nutro Mantra. Now this is one specific, it's a very different name.
Yeah.
Why is it so different? And you know, there are a lot of other people also who are into this business. How are you different?
See, Nutro Mantra, as the name suggests, it's the Nutro related to nutrition. Mantra is your Indian base. So we
Correct.
have just combined the ancient wisdom with the latest scientific research, what we are having nowadays also. If we see, science is researching what we have things in the Ayurveda, and the COVID things made us realize that the immunity is not about just, we were thinking of eating like no salt, no sugar, but Ayurveda doesn't suggest about the calorie intake. They just focus on the balancing your meal plates, having multiple things, multiple vegetables, multiple all the things in one plate, and not counting your calories. So Nutro Mantra makes it different because we are not counting calories, we are just giving you wholesome food.
Wow.
And then healing you, treating your gut, and via healing you, making you for the weight loss and reducing your inflammation in your body.
Now this comes as a very good news because you know once a woman told not to be starving
Yeah,
yourself, I think
exactly.
that's the best way of losing weight.
Yeah.
Now gut health, that's your core. You've been insisting upon that, of course, a good gut and a good body. Now we are here this myth comes in between that okay, if you're not having a good gut health, maybe you can also diet and have a good body. But I would like to know deeply into it, how can a good gut help you to have a great body, healthy body?
Like there is a slim body and we have a fit body. The
Correct.
slim body doesn't mean that you have a good gut. Right. The fit body has a good gut. It can show on your skin, it can show on your hair, it can show on your nails, it can show on your mood swings, your anxiety levels, your coping mechanisms for dealing stress also, your fatigue level, your brain fogginess, your cognitive things, all these are related to your gut. Gut is basically your small intestine and large intestine. So we have bacterias in we have trillions of bacterias in our gut, trillions. So when we are taking antibiotics or popping just up pills for headaches or just stomach ache, we are flushing out 50% of bacteria in just taking one pill. So we try them to avoid it and we help them to treat naturally if you are having headaches and just notice what is the root cause of your headache and stomach aches and all these. So gut, if you are finding the root causes of your symptoms, then we are treating the gut. It is like bad bacteria's overload. Every person has some weak point. Somebody may be having bad thyroid, somebody may be having some diabetes issues, somebody may be having liver issues. So when you are having overload of bad bacteria in your gut, then it will trigger your weak organ of the body and making it more worse to function and making it more inflamed, because of which you are not able to absorb the nutrition and you are not able to work properly, because if any one of the organ is not getting proper nutrition, it will hamper other things overall in your body. So it's like overall we are adding good bacteria in the gut, so it makes you more healthy and more helpful in dealing with the lifestyle diseases and daily course, because we are having 24/7 work nowadays. It is not like we are just having the physical work, we have mental work also, we have to deal with, at the same time, like you were saying, we have to deal with kids also, we have to deal with family also, we have to deal with work also. So for managing all these things, you need to have a good and healthy gut.
Very rightly said. Now, like you've been saying that because of this kind of a lifestyle that we're leading, of course we're trying to manage home and we're rushing to the office, and of course once you're in a place which is a metropolitan, you're also, while going, you also have, you know, the huge amount of traffic also that gets to your health and mental health. Now because of this, I've seen a lot of kids, now the young girls, they are you know, suffering with PCOS, PCOD. These are very common things now these days. Now what is that thing that triggers these problems in, you know, younger generation most probably?
It is the eating pattern of these girls, because they are always on high processed and ultra processed foods. They are not having healthy foods nowadays. If we say that the milk, people think milk is healthy. For PCOS, milk is making it more worse, because milk is not milk anymore. It is the mixture of hormones, and hormones doesn't flush out, it gets absorbed in your bloodstream and it remains there and makes it tough for other organs to work in your body. And again in PCOS you have developed cysts around the uterus, which is making your period cycles more irregular.
Correct.
And the symptoms you can see, you have acne on face, hirsutism, you have hairs in the chin line, and painful periods in this. And what changes we have seen, like 7 to 8 years of age, people, girls are having periods, because the screen time, late night sleeping, and not having right nutrition, always calorie deficit mein agar people are going, it is leading to nutritional deficiencies and disturbing your gut again, and poor diet is making it worse.
No, this is absolutely the major concern. I have been watching a lot of young women suffering, they're putting on weight, and you rightly said it's just the erratic schedule that they have. They are not sleeping on time, and of course eating anything that comes their way. Now here we also see that, you know, these days if you go open Insta, we've got n number of people telling you n number of diet programs, and there are people who are just watching them and say that of course this may help me. So what is the dietary mistakes that we as normal people do? We go on, like there are keto diets, I don't want to name it because of course everyone says it's good, but what is according to you is the right way of diet? Like when we say diet, what is the right diet?
Yeah, it is not about the diet. What I feel, people has make it like a dieting is eating less. What I think is, a diet is not about eating less, it is about eating right.
Correct.
And what you eating, it gets to be absorbed in your body. So we are not what we eat, we are what we absorb. So if your gut is not balanced, you are not able to absorb the nutrition you are having, because the bad bacteria are eating that sugar and salted things. So when you are eating more fiber, fiber rich foods, more plant based foods, nowadays for newer generations and present generation, the best thing to have is eat more plant based foods. Avoid non-veg and eggs, because these are all injections and hormones infused things. We are not, if you are aware of the source from where you are getting it, grain fed non-veg and eggs, then you can have it. But else I just suggest to have plant-based foods, because there is no need to count the calories in it. It's like wholesome meal, what I have tell you, making it more balanced way. You are having your green veg, you are having your dal, you are having your rice or roti, don't mix any grain also, and then having some salad plate with good amount of salad, so making it more fuller for longer time. Also some dietary mistakes like keto diets. Keto diet was developed for treating epileptic patients. So but it resulted in weight loss also. So people are like just falling for only weight loss, they are not treating their root causes or any symptoms they are facing. They just want to lose their weight at any cost. So this approach is not suitable for a healthy body, making their gut bad, and gradually they have to pay result for this, because keto diets pay load on your kidneys, and after 10 years or 15 years you are on dialysis or moving to this, because ketones, you develop ketones in your body, and these ketones are flushed out by your kidneys only. So you limited amount of ketones are flushed out by kidneys is okay for them, but when you're overloading the kidneys, it will get damaged. The nephrons in kidneys will get damaged. So again the kidneys will not function as they has to function, and then you'll get the dialysis issues and kidneys failure, which I have seen one of my patients. I told, he came to me when he was doing keto.
All right. Okay.
So I just asked him to avoid, and now he is on dialysis for this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now this is something which is quite alarming for people who are just following any diet. See, we need to be very cautious of what suits our body. That's important. Until we know what our body would respond to, we should not be going to any kind of diet. And for that matter, we need to consult the specialist for this. And here we have the very renowned nutritionist. We've been asking her a lot of questions. Now here, Sheetal ji, now this is another question that I've been thinking upon, because stress is something which really affects our mindset, of course, yes, and of course our body. Many a times I've noticed in myself, when I'm at like extreme level of my stress, maybe because of XYZ reasons, it does affect my digestive system. So like I would like to know from you only, how does it affect our health? Why is what are interconnection?
I told you, gut is your second brain. Your first brain is here, your second brain is here. So these two are interrelated with the vagus nerve, which is inside us in our body. So I can just give you one example. When you are going for any exam or doing any important work or any important meeting, you are stressed and anxiety, and just like you said that you have digestive issues, because these two are interconnected. And you have butterflies in it. When you're feeling butterflies, you're not able to eat. You'll get diarrhea, you'll get loose motions, because the system is interconnected, and when you're feeling stress, it is also not working. Because the stress is lowering the good bacteria. Right. So when you are building a good bacteria's load there, so your stress is dealt properly. You're not feeling more anxious in stressful situations, and if you are doing some mindful activities, you are not mindlessly doing anything, so you are more at calm and at peace and doing things in a very subtle manner and a peaceful manner. So it is not making you more anxious for the things to do. Nowadays we have multiple things to do, and in just an hour we are just want to do 100 of things, which is making us more anxious and stressful. We are not taking rest, we are not making our body relax, we are just running like a machine, which is again hampering our gut health, because we need time. We are not machines, we are body. Love your body, give ample rest to your body, I'm not saying just lie down on your bed and sleep. It is like just sit down. If you're doing have 10 minutes rest after 2 hours, so that your body is connecting with you. Connect with your body, connect with your mind, what is going inside, what they want to eat, what they don't want. If they are not demanding any food, just skip the meal. If you are hungry, just have a good nutrition, eat when you are hungry. So mindful practices of your daily life helps you deal with the stress. And again, over stressing yourself will hamper your gut and will lead to inflammation in your body.
How beautifully you've said that mindful eating. Now is the time that we've really been learning about mindfulness. And that happens in every area of our life, even what we are talking, what we
Exactly.
are thinking, and of course, whatever you think, you become. And here, when we are stressed, we definitely need to see that we need to be mindful of our body, because it, of course, helps us to be happy eventually. Now, again, coming back to your core area, which is you are a dietitian, you're a nutritionist. You've been telling us absolutely the right thing. But when a client comes to you, what is your way of judging and giving your diet to them? What is it that you start with?
Like when our client come to us, we first note down their symptoms,
Okay.
their medical issues, if they are facing any, why are they here. Maximum people are for the weight loss, but why they want to have weight loss, and we just find out the weight loss. If they are not having weight loss, weight gain is there, what is the root cause they are facing it. And then gradually we get to know that they have some lifestyle disorders, lifestyle disabilities which they are not doing properly. Their sleep issues, their eating pattern is not right, they are just gulping down, they are not chewing their food properly. And then we note down all the things. Then we just cater their taste, their ancestral things, what was going to be run in their families when they were young, and what changes they have made now as per their lifestyle and rushing environment. So we just make a comprehensive diet according to it, and we ask them, we train them to have more plant-based meals, more nutritionally rich foods, more real foods, not the dead foods or packaged foods. So we make a compilation of all these things and help them to follow this. Also monitoring regularly and consistently on a weekly basis help them more, they are not off track of their diet and foods. Also nowadays, like everyone is going out, so people are like avoiding everything. So we just make them changes on how they can manage wholesomely, eating wholesome outside also, and can manage their diet also. So it is like catering their root causes first, considering their root causes, second developing an bio-individualized plan for their according to their taste and their body specifically, involving some lifestyle practices like sleep patterns, and meditative and spiritual practices we also suggest them. Some exercises according to their body and their symptoms, and then make a whole package and offer them to continue.
Okay, wow, wonderful. Now that it is very important for all of us to be, diagnosed well. You just can't go and, start to have a diet. And what a great way of you, diagnosing a person. Now here, a lot of people say that, I would like to also know from you that, 70% is your diet, and of course when you go to gym, 30% is what your workout. Is this true?
Exactly. 70% is your diet. If you are not having your right nutrition and just gymming a lot and having more doing cardio, you will get fatigued because your body is not getting nutrition. You are burning calories, you are burning muscles, you are burning fats, but you have to re-intake of these things in your body to refuel your body, to get energy for next day.
Correct.
But if you are draining out of all these things on a regular basis, so it will come after 10 days or 15 days or a month after that you will be just crashed down because you are not having proper diet and food in your diet. So it is very important, the food is very important, and the right kind of food is very important for your healthy body.
So true. Now, I have also seen that a lot of women who are like, after their 40s, they get a lot of hormonal disbalances. Now, we were sitting, we were talking about this major thing, that how women, they are not like, of course, they are rushing, moving out and stuff. Now, specifically for women, I would like to know here as to how can they balance this, like when the food, like how to have this difference between when to have a salty food and when to have a sugary thing, because sugar also gives you a lot of boost. So when do we have to have this balance?
See, this also depends upon every individual. Some people have more salty food. If they have a tendency of low sugar levels and low BP levels, so we just suggest them to have salt, but not the white salt, refined salt. We suggest them to have the black salt in their diet.
Okay.
Also, sugar and salt, the desi khand or normal tablespoons or table salt is not that bad, which we are having sugar and salt in buns, breads, bakery items. So these sugar and salt, combination of these sugar and salt in bakery items is making worse you. So if you are having one ras with tea, every female is having in India one ras with tea in evening or in the morning. So that ras is having the combination of sugar and salt. So these sugar and salt combination with margarine butter in it is making your hormones disturbed and worse. So if you are avoiding all bakery items, then you can have your sugar and sweet salt in your meals. And you, if you just observe now, when you are feeling lazy, so you can have a little bit of salty things. And if you are having rainbow diet, like having more of vegetables and fruits in your meals, na, so these cravings will go down. You will not crave for sugar and salt if you are having your right diet. We are craving because we are not having right diet. We are not having real food. We are just want to have ki when we have sweet tooth, we'll have just one mithai, chocolate or dark chocolate or dates, laddu and all these things. And when we just crave for salted things, we are going for the chips. So all these things are making worse. I just suggest them, you can have green chutneys at home, making it more tasty and tangy with the meals.
Okay. You absolutely said it right, that how you have to have a good system of eating, like
Yeah.
you know how to have those breaks and what to eat, like when you're on the go. Like, what is it that one thing that we should carry? Supposedly we do not like have a time to cook food. What is that go to go food that we can have it and you know eat anytime?
There are a lot of things, like you can carry makhanas, you can roast makhanas, but not the market packaged ones. You can just roast the makhanas at home and carry. You can roast some combination of seeds with you and you can carry. You can have one banana, it is a complete meal. Other than milk, you can have 1 or 2 bananas on a go, and it is very handy, and it is like a mood booster. Energy will just give you a lot of energy with having 2 bananas. Or you can just carry any vegetable roll. If you make it, it's like you have leftover sabzi also, you can just roll it in a chapati and go and have it. Avoid breads to have it, but if you are having these real foods with you, so it will help you and make on energy levels fine. You can carry dates with you, having one or two date, making you again increasing your energy levels and making you at pace and dealing with your office work. So people take tea and coffee to just make the pace of the office work, but what I think, having a date is much better than coffee.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And here we never knew that these small things, like we always want to have all those chips and things handy, thinking that this is going to boost my you know mental level. But I really got this a great information that we can have small things like makhanas, and nowadays we have so much of like seeds thing and all. What a great information, and I'm not going to just now going to make changes in my go meal. I've also been, you know, intermittent fasting is also one thing. It's on the rage. Every second person, and of course, I've also been wanting to do that. Of course, I don't put on myself too much into it. But what is your say? How good it is to have an intermittent fasting?
See, what I believe, every body is individual. So when you patients like thyroid, PCOS and diabetes, intermittent fasting is not suitable for them. Though intermittent fasting is giving you weight loss, but what you should, everyone what should focus upon the circadian rhythm cycling. Like after sunset, don't eat, and eat after sunrise. So go with that rhythm, you will be fine. So intermittent fasting is like, it's now making your windows more shorter. If you're following 16 to 8, it's like 8 hours of window, and you're always in a hustle mentally.
It's time to
It's,
eat.
it's time to eat, and you just and people tend to overeat also, because after that we are not able to eat. We'll just eat now, and people are like then to they are losing weight. It's not an issue that you are not doing this and you are not losing weight, but some nutritional deficiencies you will face for this. So follow circadian rhythm pattern for this, for good right diet with
So
the
by
food.
7 we should have our dinner,
Right,
and then
right.
of course go. After that, what is it that, like, sometimes people have been saying, have your last meal at 7, and then maybe during or maybe before the bed you can have a cup of milk or maybe a green tea.
Green, you can have herbal tea. Avoid green tea, because green tea is more caffeinated than the normal tea.
Okay.
So you can have natural herbs from your kitchen. You can have jeera water. You can have fennel
Okay.
seeds water. You can have the combination of fennel seeds, cumin seeds, and jeera, and making it tea. Butterfly pea flower are coming nowadays, so you can have that water also infused in warm water. You
Okay.
can have curry leaves water.
Okay.
Fresh curry leaves. You can have tulsi water. Now winters are coming, so it will be more anti-allergic and antibiotic for you. So you can have these fresh herbs water, rosemary, coriander leaves. You can have all these things. Mint, if you are stressful and you want to have sound sleep, you can have mint water.
Okay.
That reduces your inflammation also, and acidity also. So try to use fresh herbs for your tea.
So these amazing things which you just now told us, that these water can, change our mindset, and before going to bed we can start to have such water, or maybe something like just now ma'am has told. I think this is going to give us a good night's sleep, and of course with this we'll also be losing weight. Wow, what a great thing. Now before I end, I have a last and a very important question. We all want to lose weight. This is, everybody is wanting lose weight, stay healthy rather. What is your one advice to everyone to have a good gut health and have a good body, healthy body?
See, this is my neutro funda for which I am giving to my clients, and I am sharing it with you. Have fat first in the morning for good gut lining. It's like A2 cow milk ghee, or coconut oil or flaxseed oil. You can have 2 to 3 drops early in the morning first thing. That will line your gut and making gut more healthy. Second, have protein rich breakfast, because the protein intake of protein will make you more satiated for the whole day. So you are not craving for more food during your lunch. You are more active, and it helps you building your muscles and all these things. So first is having a fat first, then having a healthy protein meals, and have rainbow meals. Then after the lunch, 4 to 5 kinds of fruits and vegetables in your meals. Eat early, sleep early, avoid screen time before bed, because that blue light which is entering in your body through eyes and then brain is making you more anxious and stressful. It is depleting the melatonin formation in your body, and and is depleting your sleep cycle. Again, sleep is the best thing. When you're sleeping, 50% of your body is repaired when you are sleeping on time. And if you're not giving time to your body to heal, again you're rushing, so it is in a fatigued mode always. So it is the simple basic tips which I suggest to keep your gut healthy, and it is not very tedious. It's just the consistency, or it's just the dedication you just have to give for the gut health, and it will be wonderful if you follow all these tips.
Wow, what a great info, what a great mantra we just got from the founder of Nutro Mantra. Thank you so very much, Sheetalji, for being here on our sets of newsmakers. Like I told, that we look up for people who are changing lives, and you are certainly doing that. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Simran, for calling me. I just love sharing all these things for everyone, and I just believe that everyone follow all these things
Yes.
for healthy gut.
Absolutely. And here, coming back to my dear audience, I am sure you would have loved the way ma'am has told that how important it is to have a good gut health, to have a good body. Are you still not using those tips? And if not, start to use them, because it's the time. So here's Simran signing off, but I promise that I will be back soon with another dynamic personality. Stay tuned and stay hooked. And yes, stay blessed. Goodbye.